Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. This is Sarah Mackenzie, and as promised, I do a little bit of a spoiler today from Casting Shadows. So before I get started, would like you to subscribe to my channel, TikTok, YouTube, whatever you have. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, and I'm still working on a couple others just to try to reach everybody because I know everybody's got an opinion on different social media. So we'll definitely get started on this. Now, you probably know from the um, Amazon previews, if you have the book, anything like that, that I do have maps. I also have a family tree. So you're probably not going to see it very well, but you'll probably note that the main character, Nora, her father was married and did have a son. So we're going to discuss that part of it today during the reading. So let me get that pulled up for you. Okay. So we're going to start with Nora's brother was born. There's lots of celebrations. Kingdom's really happy. Okay. So as soon as Papa took a seat on the throne, he began his speech in a flamboyant voice. May God bless and keep all of you. Today we celebrate the birth of my son, Reginald Xavier, the Crown Prince of Clinard. The crowds cheered through their caps and saluted. Papa tried speaking again, but he could hardly hear himself. He was about to form his next words, to announce the beginning of the competition, when one of his advisers whispered frantically in his ear. Quickly the man rushed away, a cloth to his face. The news he brought could not have been any less welcome. A plague came upon the kingdom, arriving from ships coming from the North Ocean in the west. It spread quickly, reaching the borders of Plume in hours before a messenger could get to the palace in time to warn Papa. Already, thousands were dead and more were sick. Hospitals, convents, and monasteries were filled with the dying. Mass graves housed the dead. Papa stopped his inspiring speech mid-sentence. In his mind, he imagined Clinard in a state of disaster, with so many taken with the dreaded symptoms, black boils, swelling, the sweat, and high fever. He could not celebrate. The tournament had to be postponed and he had to take action. He had to tell his people assembled that they had to leave and take shelter. Once the praising sank to a small wave, Papa spoke. Very few people heard his words until he managed to yell over the crowds. My good people, we must bow our heads in prayer for those who take ill and pass before us. For just now I have learned that plague has been sent to Clinard. The audience before him, from the contestants to the cheerers, was shocked by his proclamation of sickness. Immediately they ran from the stands, trampling each other in an attempt to escape the possibility of sickening. Hundreds were hurt or dead in the effort. Nobody cared for their fellow man in the will of God. They feared the unknown passage of death. We must be calm, Papa urged, as the stage began to topple with the weight of bodies. We cannot be afraid of the hand of God. Papa tried to quiet the crowds in their panic, but they did not listen to him. He hollered for their attention and cajoled them to kneel and pray. Then, when he could not, he shielded us with his body. Many times Papa was hit by someone's fist, or he was knocked over by a panicked citizen. He could not think to escape and save himself. Until some nearby knights escorted us back to the safety of the palace, we were trapped. It was a disaster. To Papa, Reginald's birth seemed like a bad omen. It meant that doom was coming for Clinard. Everything was going to change. Jane and I were immediately sent to our rooms. Afterward, he collapsed into a state of shock. It was said that Papa was met by Mariana in the throne room. While weak from the birth, she still stood and greeted my father with open arms. Papa fell into them and wept like a woman as Mariana held him tightly. The loss was too great for him. He could not bear to see his people in pain. The truth was far worse than fiction. Papa never met his wife near his chair of estate. He fled far into his rooms to think. He was too fearful of the plague. It will not spare the king of Clonard. He had to take some chances. One of them was deciding what to do with his wife and children. And that's it for now. So keep checking in, and I will have more updates, spoilers, and anything else. Again, just keep checking here. You can check my social media pages as well. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and namaste.